Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. This is going to be a review recap of Queen Sugar season 1 episode 3, Thy Will Be Done. And the episode opens with the person reading of the will of their dad, Mr. Ernest. He left each one of them an equal share of the 800 acre, and he left Aunt Vi something that was from their mother. I can't make out what it was. They said it too fast. I even rewinded trying to see what they said, but I don't know what it was. And basically, Charlie and Nova, they don't want the land. They want to try to sell it and stuff. And Ralph Angel, he wants the land because he wants something that he can build with Blue, just like his dad was with him in the fields. So he's upset that he wants the land and they don't. So they just say they're going to think about what they're going to do with the land. And then this is what Charlie reveals that Sam Landry actually made them an offer, and Nova was like, well, when you was going to tell us? And she was like, well, I'm telling you now. And then the lady read the will or whatever. Then she got up and got ready to leave, and then Nova was like, when was this will written? And she was like, in 1989. I just said, oh my gosh. And then she was like, right after Ralph Angel was born. So basically he just amended the will after his son was born or whatever. And he never changed it. I guess he never assumed that he was going to be in this much debt, and neither one of them didn't want it, so he wanted to make it even for all of them. Then we get to Micah. Apparently he has this white girlfriend because he's FaceTiming her, and Charlie walks in the room and she was like, who is that? I guess she assumed that it was his dad, and he was like, it's the girl. I forgot what he said the girl name was, but whatever. And Charlie, she looked at him crazy. She just turned back around and started walking out, and the girl on the other end flagging on his family, like joking on all their names, talking about, is that Hollywood, is that Blue, if that's Ralph Angel. And I'm just looking at her like she's crazy. And instead of him checking her, he said like kikiing like it's cute. So that was the end of that. Then we get Nova visiting some boy in prison. They never said what the boy name was or her relation to him. Apparently he got pulled over or like frisked, and they tried to say he had weed on him or something, and trying to get him to confess, to break him down and stuff. And he was like, he's not going to confess to something he didn't do. And then Nova was like, she's going to help him fight it. And that was the end of that. She ended up leaving the jail or whatever. So we're probably going to see more of that later on in the season. Then we get Aunt Vi at Aunt Vi's house. Everybody's over there. Davis pops up, and she basically just giving him the cold shoulder. He tried to come into the house. She slammed the door in his face, but he ended up walking in anyway, saying that he wanted to talk to Charlie and Michael. And she was like, y'all business already out there anyway, so anything you need to say to them, you can just say to us. And he was like, well, I'm going to start being questioned by the Houston police. So that's when Charlie was like, let's talk outside. I guess she didn't want all of them to know all that. So basically he went outside, and he basically confessed that the girl was an escort, and she was like a prostitute. And with escorts, you paid them to go away. That's why the prostitutes, you paid them to go away, not to create all this drama or whatever. And he basically want her by his side, and she was like, she's not going to be there. I guess she was going to help him, try to like be the supportive wife or whatever. But a prostitute, that's just a low blow. And then he was like, well, he want Michael there or whatever. She was like, he's not going, I'm not going either. And then he basically begging them or whatever. And Michael comes outside, and that's when they stop talking. I guess they don't want him to know the full story of the prostitute, but it's going to get out anyway, because these days kids are ruthless in school, and how the media is and social media, he's going to read about it anyway, so they might as well just tell him instead of him finding out through other people, because he's going to be really upset when he finds the full story. Then Ralph Angel, Charlie, and Nova mixed up with Sam Landry, a white man who wants to buy the land. He trying to offer them $850 per acre, which was like a low ball offer. I guess he didn't think these black people was going to know their worth. So Charlie was like, I did some comps. And what do you mean comps? That mean to compare into the other stuff in the area. And she was like, I did some comps, and it's worth twice that much. And then he was like, well, you got to know that your father was in debt and all that stuff too. So he tried to like really talk down on the land. And Charlie was like, give us a week to think about it. He was like, 2 days. So I guess he got mad because these people are actually smart. He's not going to be able to go on and swindle his way into buying all that land for the low. And he'd probably be sabotaging the land. I don't know. I'm quite sure we're going to keep up on that. But basically he got mad, and Nova was like, did you see that? I guess you see how he changed. when he realized that they're not just some dummies out here, they actually know what they're doing, especially with Charlie. She has an MBA. So of course she's going to know how to work the finance and how to weasel her way in and how the investments work. Then we get Hollywood going to pick up Aunt Vi from work, and then there's some girl out there flirting with him, like as he waiting for her in the car, and she's just hard on flirting. He's not really giving her the time of day, but he's not telling her to get out of his face either. Now that was a point that I was gonna make. But Aunt Vi came out, and she was just like, ain't your break almost over? Ain't your break over? Whatever. She didn't even get mad that the girl was flirting with her man. She just kissed him on the lips in front of her, and the girl got mad. She gave a and turned around and walked back in the house. Walked back in the restaurant. And that was the end of that. And I'm like, Hollywood. And Aunt Vi, she didn't go off on him either. I guess she's mature enough to like, I know these girls are going to be trying to come after my man. Because he looks like he's probably about 10 years younger than her. So, but he still could have told that girl to get out of his face. But I'm quite sure she probably always do that because Aunt Vi, she wasn't even phased. So she probably always does that. But that's still rude. Rude, and you're just throwing yourself to a man who don't even want you. Girl, stop. Apparently, Ralph Angel is on parole. He's meeting with his parole officer. You know how he keeps saying he's going to get a job this week, he's going to get a job that week. How he keep telling everybody. So his parole officer actually told him, he told him that he couldn't look for a job because his dad died. And the parole officer said, you could have told me that. And then he was like, he inherited the land or something like that. He was like, no. Your parole say you need a job that worth 40 hours. And then he gave him some card to go see some man that hired parolees. Even if they had like a record or whatever, even if it's not that bad, he'll hire them if they have good work ethic. So that was the end of that. So Ralph Angel definitely have to get a job, or he'll find his ass back in jail because parole and probation, they don't play. So Aunt Vi invites Charlie and Nova to lunch or whatever. So they thought that they was just gonna sit down and talk or whatever. She walked over them and told them to stop bullying Ralph Angel, and they was like, "We're not bullying him," because like I forgot to tell you, when he was trying to figure out what they were gonna do with the land, they just was like completely disregarding his feelings. They just was like they were gonna sell it, But it's still three of them. So all three have to decide. They just can't sell 2/3 of the land if he keep 1/3. It's not gonna work like that. Because they all have an equal share in that. So each one of them have a 33.33%. So she was telling, because he got mad because he was like, Aunt Vi didn't take his side or whatever. So she told him to stop bullying him or whatever. And they was like, okay, they was going to stop. But they didn't see it as bullying. They just see it as being responsible of what they're going to do with the land. And then Aunt Vi got up and left after she told him that. And Remy Newell walks in, and Charlie perked up. She was excited to see him. And Noah was like, what's going on? And she was like, just give me a second. So she got up to talk to him and walked him outside. And he was talking, and he was trying to get her to come to a farmer's potluck or whatever, where farmers get together and discuss like the land and the crop and all that stuff. So she said she was going to try to make it. He was telling her to make sure she make it. And he gave her the date and time or whatever. And she said she was going to try. And that was the end of that. So, that wasn't the end of that. Charlie ended up telling him that Sam Landry, about what she wanted to talk about Sam Landry. Because you remember when she tried to bring him up the first time, and after his dad died, he was like, don't bring it up in here. So apparently Sam Landry prays on the weak and the black people and the poor people, like in their time of need. He'll try to lowball them for their land or whatever. And that's how he swindled his way in to take land for way less than what it's worth. And he was telling her that, and that was she got to thinking. So I'm quite sure when he said that, I'm quite sure she was trying to think of a plan for them to keep that land, because it was in their dad will. I think he really, really wanted them to keep that land because he didn't want them to lose it to the white people. So he really wanted them to keep that land and upkeep and keep it in the family and just keep passing it down from generations to generations. Because in their will, he said it was passed down. I think they read about 4 or 5 different generations. So that land is really valuable to the family, even for sentimental value. Even if it's not for the money, it's for sentimental value. So I think he would really want them to keep it in the family. Then Ralph Angel goes over to their dad's house, and he sees Charlie and Nova packing up stuff. He was like, what are you guys doing? Why are you so quick to pack up his life? He was like, we're just packing up the stuff, and we're keeping the sentimental stuff. And then he was like, well, I want to get something. She was like, well, we set something to the side. He was like, no, I wanted to do that. I wanted to do that for Blue. So Now he's being excluded. You remember how they was planning the funeral? Charlie was being excluded. Now he knows how Charlie feels. And he was told, he got mad at Charlie and told her, you only came here during the summers anyways because you had to. So, when he said that, that made me think that maybe she does have a different mother and her dad just had visitation. Because like sometimes when parents divorce or whatever, like the parents alternate holidays and alternate summers. Well, most of the time the child goes to the father's house for the summer because they've been with the mother during the full year, and they alternate holidays. So when he said that, it made me think that maybe she does have a different mother. But I don't know, they never really specified. So we'll see if they reveal that later on in the season. Now, while all that is happening, the Repo man come out and they hear this truck, so all of them run outside. And this man, he trying to repo the tractor out of the father's yard, talking about it's 90 days past due. So Charlie was like, well, who's your company? We can write to get you the count up to date. He was like, no, it doesn't work like that. And he was just literally trying to take the tractor. He never would tell them who the company was. So that made me think maybe Sam Landry set this up to make them think if they lose everything, then they have no other choice but to sell. So Ralph Angels got really mad. He was like, y'all not going to take my father's stuff. So he went inside and got a gun and pointed it at him. A 38. So the other white man who was with him, he pulled out a rifle. And they just pointed it at each other, and Nova and Charlie trying to get Ralph Angel to calm down, don't shoot him. And then baby Blue came outside. No, Dad, just put the gun down. And Ralph Angel started crying. I guess he didn't want his son to see him in that moment like that. And he actually did give Nova the gun and put the gun down. And he went over there to Blue. So he just felt really, really bad. I don't think he wanted his son to see him in that type of moment or whatever. And then they went in the house. I don't know if the men took the tractor. I'm assuming that they did, but they didn't show it. So I'm assuming that they did because there was no hostile situation. But I think Sam Landry had something to do with that. I think he probably called the repo company, told them to collect the stuff, or like had a hand in it. Because ever since they told him they'll think about it, he seemed like he got really upset from that. So later on, we see Charlie really does go to the farming potluck. I mean, she was listening to all the farmers talk and stuff, and Remy Newell, he was trying to get her, basically trying to convince her not to sell the land, telling her her dad had started the potluck. And he was like, most of these farmers, they don't own the land, they just lease the land with the crops, but Charlie and them in a good position because they actually own their land. And then she was like, I see what you're trying to do. You're trying not to get me to sell. He was like, I'm not going to tell you not to sell, and I'm not going to tell you to sell. I'm just giving you something to think about. So basically, he's giving her something to think about and have to think in depth of it, and just not be so quick to just sell the farm, sell the land, and just get on about her business. Because her father really, really worked hard on this, and all his other family really, really worked hard on this. So he really want her to think about that long and hard before she decides to sell. So after she get back from the potluck, she goes home and Michael's is sitting on the porch. And he told her how mad he is that she's not supporting his dad. And he talked about that he want to go back, and she was like, he's not going back. And he basically told her, I'm 16 or 15, I can fly by myself, I don't need you chaperoning me. So basically he told her he's going back with or without her, because he doesn't feel that it's right that she is not supporting his father. And then she was like, okay, just do whatever you want to do. And then she walked back in the house. Then we get Ralph Angel. Now he's standing outside drinking a beer, going over there getting drunk, and he goes to knock on this trailer in the trailer park. It turns out it's Darla's house. And she goes, they just staring at each other like some sexual chemistry. They're just staring at each other. And then she tries to kiss him, and he turns his head away. And then she was taken aback by a little bit. So she starts unbuckling his pants or whatever. He didn't stop her when she did that. And then he picked her up, and they went into the house. Basically, they did the do. Now, baby mamas, I don't have the kids. This is why baby daddies don't respect you. Because since this show started, he has been disrespecting her and talking to her any kind of way. But as soon as he go knock on the door and wants some cootie cat, she's ready there, spread wide open, like a wide eagle. Like, you need to start respecting yourself. Like after the relationship ends, there's no more sexual intercourse. I know that's your baby dad and you have all these feelings and stuff, but stop. That's why these men think they could just run up in you anytime they get ready. Baby mamas, you need to have more respect for yourself. It's not cute. And he's not gonna do it after he get done with the sex. He's just gonna go on by his business, and then you're gonna be sitting up there left thinking, oh, we about to get back together, when that's definitely not the case. Now in the last scene, Ralph Angels go visit the man that his parole officer gave him the card for to get the job. Now I couldn't make out what the man said in the beginning, but it made it seem like that he wasn't going to get the job, and he had asked Ralph Angels something. Ralph Angels was like, I'm just trying to turn my life around, or something like that. Then he ended up telling him, okay, if you want the job, you can have it. And Ralph Angels was like, for real? He was like, yeah, you can have it. And matter of fact, I can use you right now. So Ralph Angels just got up. He went in the warehouse or whatever, because it was like a warehouse, and they was like shipping boxes off or putting boxes on like a timing belt, or no, what is it called? A timing belt? It's like a assembly supply line that you put the boxes on there and it just goes down the line or whatever. And all the other workers were in there doing that too. So I'm assuming they parolees too. They probably getting paid minimum wage, but a job is a job to stay out of jail. And then he ended up clocking out on the thing, and he didn't know how to do it. So the man showed him how to do it. He was like, "Good looking out, bro." So he goes back home and he sees Nova and Charlie talking. And then they end up telling him that they're not going to sell the land. They're just going to keep the land. And they telling him that the dad was in so much debt, so they have to like try to pay it out. And basically, Ralph Angel was happy. I was happy for him too, because I like to see stuff like stay within the family. Is this something that you can like, what's the word I'm looking for? Pass down generations and like build something up with. See how he has Blue. Him and Blue can do the same thing that him and his dad did. It's like a bonding moment and a bonding experience. So I'm really, really glad they did not sell the land. Thank you guys for watching my video. Don't forget to thumbs up this video and subscribe to the video if you like it. I will be putting more content out. I'm trying to do like more videos as I go along. I just been having a lot of stuff been going on in my personal life, and I don't want to discuss it. Subscribe to my channel, share my video, follow me on social media. My Instagram is LethaBeautyXO, my Twitter is Danny_Griffin, and my Facebook is Miss Danielle Griffin. I will put all the links down below. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye. Oh, I forgot this part. Charlie ended up calling Sam Landry, telling her, he was like, oh, I see y'all guys made a decision that you're going to sell the land. She ended up telling him she's not going to sell the land, and he really, really got mad. And he's telling her, he basically threatened her, saying business work differently around here than it does out there in LA where you stay. Basically threatened her, making me also think that he's going to try to sabotage that land. I just feel it down in my soul that he's going to try to sabotage the land. And I think they're going to get around to it though. I think they're going to figure it out that he really is trying to sabotage them. Okay, thank you guys. Bye.